Hello and welcome to another sort of Convallaria video. Today I want to talk a little bit about low rarity units, aka not SSR, not legendary characters that you can use as a free-to-play player to strengthen your account and will actually help you a lot if you don't have any more options, right? Because let's be real, not everyone day one is gonna spend a lot of money to get a full team of 5-6 SSRs, right? You will get there over time, but considering we need to be playing based on factions, which I will add later here, so you can filter by factions. I already found this spreadsheet someone sent me, so we're gonna be updating the website with this data and including factions in here so you can filter. But you want to focus on a team using a specific faction. We're gonna be talking about today specific free units and also low rarity characters that you can use at the early, mid game, and even end game, depending on your situation, to help you out a little bit. Now, this is a public spreadsheet that I've been making with Arclam, and you will have the link in the description. It's also on the website if you check these low rarity units. It's also on the official Discord if you want to check in there as well. So we're going to be going over all of these characters, why they're good, why they're bad, and then some extra options that you could be using. So as usual, before we start, leave a like, subscribe, comment to the channel. Let's get directly started with this. So first of all, when it comes to SSR units, remember we are getting multiple for free. So you're going to be getting Mytha for free, no problems, 2 copies. You'll get 1 for free when you start playing, and you're gonna be getting another Mytha copy in these beginner missions. That means 2 Mythas. We're also gonna be getting 1 fight call here and another fight call that they announced it for free with the beginner launch events. It's not that these missions, it's like another event just to celebrate the global launch. So 2 copies of Mytha, 2 copies of fight call, and 1 copy of Rawiyah. These 3 characters, you will be able to use them. They're all, of course, from the sort of Convallaria camp, or for the Valley of the Lily camp, right? Whatever they translate it in English as. So they are pretty good. They will have synergies, and there is plenty of low rarity characters that will also pair with them pretty well. You'll also be getting Angel for free. We'll talk about her in a second. So that's it about the SSRs. They are not the best SSRs, but they are still great. Any SSR, even if you see them in T2, is still most of the time better than a lot of the SR characters, the lower rarity ones, right? The Platinum, the Bronze ones. Those are even always going to be worse than anything at T2. So don't worry too much about seeing something you like at T1.5. For example, I'm going to be using Mytha until I probably get Magnus. If I don't get Magnus, I'm not gonna be switching because I don't see any reason to be spending resources on Alexei. I like him, I just like more Magnus, right? So I'm gonna be using Mytha for a while, even if she is a T1.5 character. So that's it. Let's go into the low rarity ones, which ones are good and why they're good. The names are not the official ones because I don't know the translations that they are gonna be using on the final version. But of course, just look at the icon and that should be more than enough. Starting with the light crossbowman. Now, this guy deals damage based on how many buffs he has. He by himself will be able to get at least 2 buffs and keep them up, if I remember correctly, depending on your setup with the weapons and everything. And as long as he has 3 buffs, always, he will deal really good damage actually. In fact, he is the strongest archer early and mid game. Of course, after that, there's gonna be the SSRs catching up without any issues, but he is really strong. So if you get lucky on your first multis and you get him, if you don't have any SSR, I would actually recommend leveling up this crossbowman. He will be really useful. Now we go into Falcon. Falcon is a free character. You will get her guaranteed, okay? So I will say she is worth investing if you don't get a Seeker. So if you don't get Call, of course, then I will say go use Falcon. Falcon is an interesting character. She is free, right? She performs pretty well early game due to, you know, the extra damage and Seekers being pretty powerful. But you can also use her as a tank. Now, tank in quotes, right? Because she has dodge mechanics. So if you're in a pinch, your tank is dead already, you can use Falcon to get some hits, dodge them, and just deal the extra damage with your other characters. Still, it's not her intended role, but can be used. Then we go into the Axe Mercenary Lady. Now, this lady, which is right here, where are you? Here. She is actually also pretty good, but I would not recommend using her if you plan on using Rawiyah. If you don't like Rawiyah for any reason, then you could be using her as a tank. early, mid game until you get something else, until you get a breaker you like. But remember that breakers, there is not that many that we get at release, right? At release, we're not getting good breakers. We have Leonida, and we have Xavier, which depending on the situation, if the level is completely flat, he's gonna be good, but we don't get too many. So I will say you could use the Axe Girl if you're looking for a breaker and you don't like Rawiyah, right? She has a decent AoE every time she's attacked, thanks to her passive. Well, she's doing AoE damage, every time she gets attacked. I will say a decent option, not the best one, but she's still pretty fun to play. Then we have the Pharmacist. Now, even though she's called Pharmacist, it's not worth using her for her heals, because she has a lot of utility for the team, debuffs, and also one of the best heals in the game as well, at least early game. So I will go for the healing ability and the rest just debuffs, because those debuffs are going to be really, really, really good. You could even use her at endgame just for those debuffs, depending on how many SSR characters you have. And then we go into the French Empire Ice Mage. Now, this French Empire Ice Mage is interesting. He's bad. He's a bad character. In terms of damage, he sucks. But the good thing he has is that you can control the battlefield with him. You can slow constantly the enemy, meaning you can pick only one character to not slow, right? One enemy, so he constantly keeps coming at you, and the others are slow, meaning you will be able to kill enemies one by one, pick them up. So if you like that type of playstyle, he is actually pretty good for that, even at endgame. Same for the Dark Ice Mage. He's used for the same situation, but he has a passive, this right here. This passive right here will actually make him recover stamina a lot faster, meaning he can spam his abilities, stamina, RNG, energy, whatever you want to call it, right? He will be able to spam skills more frequently. So both are not the best in terms of damage, but in terms of utility, they are really, really good. Then we get into the Witch. Now, Witch, I would only recommend for specific situations. She is an arsonist character. She sets up everything on fire and runs away. And because how the AI works in this game, that actually works. The AI will chase you and kill itself while burning. That's it, nothing else. That's how you play the Witch, or whatever you want to call her. Now, she is really situational, because not everything in this game can catch fire. Only specific surfaces can. So for example, grass can catch fire. If you're on a dungeon, you will not be able to catch fire unless there is some oil around, right? So take that into consideration. If you want to use her, you can, but she is super situational. Now we go into the Scout for the Furry tribe. He is, if for some reason you do not like Falcon, that's the only situation where I will say invest in the Scout. He has decent damage. Early game, he will be able to carry you a little bit. He has higher mobility than Falcon, but damage output is worse overall. So yes, I will say not really worth it, but it's an option to consider, at least if you want to go with a full camp for the Furries. Then we have the Light Mage Candle. Now, she can be used as an RNG battery. Batteries on any game, if you don't know, basically are used so your other characters can keep acting. She regenerates energy, that's it. She also has multiple skills, which will help your team with boosts. That's about that, right? If you need an energy battery or an RNG battery, she is the girl to go for. Now we have Darkheart. Once again, she recovers a lot of stamina thanks to this skill. Every time you see this skill, means the character can use their abilities more often, similar to Beryl, for example. She has really high base speed, so she can act almost of the time pretty close to first, and she has a lot of debuffs. I will say, when it comes to debuffs, I'm not sure who would I prefer, Pharmacist or Darker, depending on the camp you like and what characters you have, obviously. I will say Darker is a little bit better, just because the extra energy and because she has a leader aura, and auras are important in this game. The extra damage is always worth taking. Then we have Butterfly. Once again, if you like the Furry tribe, she is the girl to go for. She's an offensive off healer with defensive dispel and buffing capabilities. So if you need someone to be removing buffs from your enemies and dispelling, she is the girl to go for. The Furries have a lot of characters that you'll be able to use low rarities that are pretty good and that will actually make your life easier until you get the full roster of SSRs, of course, right? And then lastly, we talk about Angel. As I was saying earlier, you will get her for free, and you can get an extra copy if you spend $1. So that is 2 copies of Angel, and she is not a legendary character, so you will be able to max her over time. She is a pure healer, and she's a good healer at that. She has, I believe, one of the highest, if not the highest, healing outputs in the game. not only single target but also AoE. Now the thing is, she's only a healer. And as you are seeing, we have already an SSR that's a healer, right? So if we go to global version, we have Samantha. She's 1.5. The reason she's 1.5 is that because most characters will have some form of sustain on their own kits, be it recover HP, be it a healing skill, whatever, right? So pure healers that do not have any utility are hard to use in the end game. You can use her, and a lot of people, since she is free, have been using her forever. So don't be discouraged by, oh, she is 1.5 or whatever. No, she's great, right? You can use Angel, free SSR, a free SR healer, and it's an amazing girl. Now, these are the ones I've used. There are more SRs still to test and that are good. For example, Lash, the Dark Mage. There is plenty of units that I have not leveled up or had the time to properly test, right? I know there are more characters that are good. For example, this girl can be pretty good with this skill, since it attacked twice. There is a lot of characters. It's just that I don't have the time or the resources on this version to properly test them. When Global comes out, I will keep testing low rarity characters, and I will be making more videos specific on units, right? If there is a unit you specifically want to see or want to check, let me know, and I'll start leveling them up to see if I can make a build before Global comes out. All that said, that's gonna be it for this video. Once again, the link for this spreadsheet will be in the description or on a pinned comment, whatever is easier. Thank you to my patrons, as usual, for helping me make this content. Love you all, bossos. Good luck with your pool generates, and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。
天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。